The dots are moving. The dots are moving. Yep, we are live. Yes,
we are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Scram Punks, episode 46. I am here with the panel today. Now, I have some news for people that actually like my black ass. I don't know why you would, but I might not. I can't be here the whole podcast, but my panel will definitely hold it down for me after I'm gone. But since I'm here right now, I would like to introduce this panel. First off, my main man, MM2K. What is going on, my guy?
What's up, man? I don't know. Just, it's been a crazy whirlwind day, and I know you got to go. I'm not going to keep my intro too long, but we got a special guest. This is going to be a great show, man. Great show.
Cool. And second, Snow Bunny, how are you doing today?
I am great. How are you? Besides the fact that,
you
all that.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Besides all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going good besides that.
Go make that money so then you can use all that extra loot to buy more Xbox games as they release.
You damn right. And I will do that. Nethos, man, I gotta leave on the day you're actually here with us, man. I'm actually kind of upset by that, man. I'm kind of upset by that. Hey, what's going on with you, bro?
Nothing much, just streaming a little bit on my channel, getting some content up there. And today, my integrity was called into question, so I have some choice words later on for the show.
Oh, shit. Oh, well, I'm not going to be here, but I'm damn sure going to be listening, y'all. And we have a special guest for us with us today. Now, he's an Xbox guy, so that makes me just excited to have another Xbox guy here. Because, neither the Monster Xbox guys kind of sort of, Nethos is. Yeah, but...
depends on the day.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Depends on the pizza.
Right. But, Devin, thank you for joining us on Scram Punks, man. What is going on with you, bro?
Nothing much, brother. Thank you for having me on.
Cool.
I'm just hanging out, playing some games.
Just hanging out. Hey, man, that's what I love to do. I love to hang out and play games. That's what I love to do, bro. So we all love to do those things. And Snow Bunny love to play her Nintendo Switch and talk shit, because actually Snow Bunny talks a lot of shit. Y'all might not know that, but she's a sweethart, though. But anyway, y'all, let's get started.
Yes, I'm cute and fluffy. That's how I can get away with it.
There we go. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get this started. There's a lot of good topics, actually, Snow Bunny has her Switch report, but we're going to start off with Gears 5. Let's just start off with Gears 5, y'all.
Yep.
Gears 5 is now at an 85 Metacritic because GameSpot score made it go down a little bit. GameSpot gave it a 7 out of 10, but has everybody played Gears 5 here? I know you probably haven't played Snow Bunny, but...
I've watched gameplay of it. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
It's not really my type of game.
Right. But, I just want to know everybody's impressions of Gears 5 so far. And I'm actually going to start with MM2K, because you're not a big Gears guy, but I know you have played the game. So what do you think, man?
I think that just in the short, that Gears 5 is an enhancement of Gears 4 in every single way. I was a big enthusiast with Gears 1 because I was a big fan of co-op. Gears 2, I was like, oh, it's more the same, and I really didn't dig Gears 3. That was just me. That's just me. Gears 4, you know what I'm saying, was a safe game, but 5 got me excited. And I'm only still in the first act. So even playing the parts that I've played, I can tell it's an enhancement of Gears 4 and even the Gears franchise altogether, pretty much in every major way. We're going to talk about some little whoop-to-do things that may have been downgraded a little bit, which is a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. But in the important parts that matter, it is an improvement in every single way. And again, I am not a Gears fan. So.
All right. Nethos, I know you put in some time. Actually, you put in a lot of time in that multiplayer. Yeah. Y'all was racking up shop last night. I saw.
Yeah, I wasn't pretty for the other side. I listened to their stream.
You sound like you in a.
She said bye. And no one might be
you in a blender or some shit.
All right, hold on. Is that working?
Yeah, now you good.
Yeah,
okay, I'm about to say, yeah. I mean, that stream wasn't pretty for the other side. I was listening to it a little bit. It would sound like a complete mess over there, but it was still a fun game nonetheless. I gotta say, Gears 5 is head and shoulders above Gears 4 in every way. Absolutely love the game, and this is the proper sequel we've been waiting for since Gears of War 3, I would say.
Right. I agree, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm into like the Red Desert part because I've been playing Gears also with a little like mixed with a little 2K, you know, because I am a black guy and I love NBA basketball. So I've been playing a little 2K.
You're an Xbox black guy.
I'm an Xbox black guy. So I've been playing a little 2K mixed with Gears, but man, I absolutely love the game. This is the type of game we've been waiting. I know it's just Gears. I know it's another Gears game, but it's hey man, the game is
Uncharted is another Uncharted game. You know what I'm saying?
There
like,
you go.
Except for again visual upgrades and visual and aesthetic upgrades. Uncharted is Uncharted. Now in Uncharted 4, opposed to 2 or 3, you got the Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider pickaxe. You know what I'm saying?
It was.
You got a new story. So you know,
you're right. It was Uncharted just with better graphics. You're right.
How silly must we get? But again, I opine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, Devin, are you playing Gears, bro?
I played a little bit of the campaign. Like I'm at the middle of Act 2. I've mainly been playing multiplayer. I think it's way smoother than Gears 4 was.
Right.
Especially how you can when you're running, you can adjust it in the settings how the screen doesn't shake. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, right. Because that used to irritate me a little bit about Gears, but I'm going to say something that makes me feel bad to say as an Xbox guy. When I was playing Gears 5 campaign and towards the end of Act 2, there's like some story, right? Like there's a pretty big cutscene. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's around Kate, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. And I was watching this like, damn, this is an Xbox exclusive. This is the Xbox first party game. And,
yeah.
And it's kind of sad to say that, but at the same time, I was like, this shit looks pretty good. Like, I haven't really seen the Xbox first party game with a great narrative and great voice acting, and the story, in a while. So I was just surprised, like, Xbox, this is what I'm talking about.
It's a proud moment.
Happy. Huh?
It's a proud moment.
Yeah, exactly. I was proud. Like, I'm proud to be a damn Xbox guy.
I'm going to say this too, and I've said this in my stream. I'm not capping. I'm not making this shit up. I said this in my Twitch stream. Shameless plug. Well, this is my channel. I forgot we're airing it here today. But on my Twitch channel stream, I said, damn. This is the first time I can remember in a long time since, spoiler alert, since Dom got killed, right? In the original arc, that I really cared about something that happened in the story. After that, I don't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? Until this story. So at all major levels, this is an enhancement on the series.
Absolutely. Heath Stevens said, I had an Xbox guy tell me that Gears 5 changed as much as God of War did. No, it didn't change as much as God of War did. But, it evolved slightly.
Can I say something? Again, I'm in one of my moods. I'm in one of my non-Jared moods. But I'm going to keep this quick because Dirk got to go. We're going to cover an important topic before he goes, if we can. No, it is not a God of War level change. But here's where I need y'all to get out of y'all silos. See, the problem is that the reason why people feel like now it's open season on Gears 5 is because y'all can only judge by 2 litmuses when it comes to AAA Western developed games. It has to be heavily story driven, or every single element in the game must have some physics reaction to it. Like it has to be story driven like God of War and be completely revamped, or it has to every particle in the game has to have be part of some physics engine like Red Dead Redemption 2. That is so asinine, and that puts gaming in such a box that it does not make gaming diverse. So all of y'all with this small siloed approach to gaming because y'all have short-term memory and the game that was good 5 months ago was what you want everything to be, this whole cookie cutter approach, please stop it because you're fucking up gaming with that mind state. And now I shut up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hey man, shit, but you got anything else? Because that was kind of good. You got
I'm just saying, man, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. I'm sorry. I didn't have my Geritol warning.
Oh, well, sticking with Gears 5, today some news came out, and I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know how MM2K feels about it. That's why we're here to talk about these things. So apparently, Gears 5 has dethroned Fortnite on Xbox Live as the most played game. Now, before we get into it, Fortnite has been number one on Xbox, from what I hear, since summer of 2018. So that means games like Apex Legends, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption. None of those games dethroned Fortnite on Xbox, of course. That's the most played game.
Yeah.
But apparently Gears 5 have.
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys think about this? Is this impressive or is this nothing? Or what does it mean? Does it mean that people care about Gears 5? Does it mean that people like Game Pass? What do you guys think this means?
I think it's impressive on a few fronts. So it's impressive for Gears 5, a game that, more or less said it was going down in popularity, right? Like we say, Halo and Gears are far from their primes. Not saying they're small games by any means, but they're past their primes or whatever. But this shows there's a resurgence in Gears, and that's good with a quality game or whatever. Microsoft, like Moss said in Twitter, if you make a good AAA game, people will come. And lastly, it shows that Game Pass effect does work, because this is all Gears Ultimate players. Not even the regular edition was out at this time when they dethroned.
Right.
So people were buying into the Game Pass Ultimate. Granted, it was an easy conversion, and maybe they're buying the $80 version, but let's be real, I think most people were on the Game Pass subscription.
Yeah.
And it just showed what Game Pass is doing their job.
Yep. I totally agree. I will take this time to just in 10 seconds.
Can I say something real quick?
Go. Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
everybody go ahead. Nobody cares what I think. Go ahead.
No. I have something very quick to say. Fucking finally, I'm tired of hearing about Fortnite. Let something else shine. Go ahead, Moss.
Thank you.
No. Trust me, the audience wants to hear you 20 times more than they want to hear you. Believe you me. On my channel or not, trust me. With that said, no, I'm going to take 10 seconds to try to defend my honor, because my honor was attacked by my little brother FC Violent earlier today.
Y'all was going at it today.
I'm gonna call him FC Watergate. You know what I'm saying? Because he tried to fudge the tapes like Richard Nixon. You know what I'm saying?
Twitter was lit today, apparently.
Yeah,
Twitter was a little wild today.
Twitter. This was Twitter day. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, and again, I don't want to go back into the weeds with the Game Pass value thing. I have that take on that, because again, I'm looking at data. I get paid to do this. I'm looking at data. I can connect the dots. Prior to Gears 5, prior to PC Game Pass, you had casual gamers at mass that really weren't tuned in to Game Pass until PC Game Pass, and then help tap some of the mass market on the PC market, and then most definitely Gears 5. Benji Sales echoed what I've been saying, that this AAA banger that's been put in Game Pass has now increased. Game Pass has done a phenomenal job for the product, and Microsoft is now concerned, and they're working towards making sure they sustain that success. So again, I'm not going to go in the weeds about that. That's my point. That was my point all along. That's what I'm saying. In order to sustain Game Pass for the masses, not us, not the 5%, but us, then they have to keep. They got to keep doing this. They got to have at least two AAA bangers. So what I'm saying to my Xbox brethren is keep the pressure on Microsoft. Say keep it going. Do more Gears type of material. Even work with a second party. We need AAA games, at least 2 of them in Game Pass every year. That way, when the casual market comes over, then what happens is we get more of the games that we like. I like AA games. I like Obsidian. The casuals don't. So we need the casuals to fund the AA games that we like. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. And I'm glad that Gears has done that. And hopefully Microsoft is taking heed, and they'll listen, and they'll put in more quality product.
Absolutely. Hey, hold on, go to the chat real quick. Hey, Chris said, Christopher, it was the heart. Game Pass is decreasing Gears 5 physical sales. No shit, Chris. Thank you. Thanks for watching the video.
It is.
Yeah, of course it is, but
here's
this is Microsoft's strategy. Yeah.
It's Microsoft's strategy is they're emulating the Disney Plus strategy. Disney said that they're going to lose, my numbers could be way off, I think $1 billion for
easily.
for the next 10 years because they're heavily slashing the price of Disney Plus. Do we doubt that when Disney Plus raises that price, them motherfuckers are going to kill it? No, we don't doubt it. Why don't we doubt it? Because we know the content is going to be supreme.
True.
So stop doubting the model. The question is, will Xbox put the content in? That's the question we need to focus on. But don't doubt the model.
That's a good question. Hey, Moss, that's a good question because I didn't realize that about Disney Plus. I didn't realize that. But if that's the case, we're not going to doubt them. Like, we know the content is going to be there. So you're right. Xbox needs to prove that the content is going to be there. Quality content, not just,
like think about things like this. Like Bob Iger is the one who told his investors, like, yeah, we're going to be bleeding money for a little while, but this is to get everything set up with, moving forward. And even Netflix, believe it or not, for how much money they make, they've been bleeding all these years for the most part. And that's because they're making so much original content.
So much.
Exactly. And Microsoft is trying to find a sweet spot, and I get that. And then I'm going to shut up and get Devin's thoughts on this. But Microsoft is trying to find a sweet spot. So that's why I get why they were toying heavily with making the AA content at first. But again, they got to keep a balance. And the question is, can they keep that balance? What do you think about this, Devin? You think that the Game Pass model is a good one for Xbox? What do you think about Game Pass altogether?
As far as a casual... I would say it's a good deal. I mean, for such a low price, you can play a lot of games, and if you're not, balling or whatever, you got a lot of games to choose from for a smaller price. You don't have to pay full price for every game. But that all depends on the connection as well, because like the other day, the connection went down for, say, hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a great deal, in my opinion. I don't got all the money in the world, so I pay a couple dollars for a couple months and can play exclusives day one. I'm a happy camper for that.
Absolutely.
No, I cannot disagree with what's the meme. No lies detected. I can't disagree with that.
Now, Snow Bunny, even though you're Team Nintendo, I know you mentioned that you tired of Fortnite and shit. But is it impressive? Like, I mentioned some of those other games that did not dethrone Fortnite on Xbox Live. Like, even Apex Legends is free.
Some big names.
Yeah, Apex Legends is a free game, didn't dethrone Fortnite, Call of Duty.
But,
Red Dead
you gotta think about it this way. All those games you just mentioned are all multi-plats.
Yeah, true.
That's a good point too.
This is an exclusive that dethroned Fortnite. And the thing is, you have to look at all those other games you mentioned are just like Fortnite, just different. It's reskinned. People are probably tired of that type of model. And now you have Gears come up here. It's a third-person shooter. Yes, it is. You do have multiplayer aspects of it. Yes, you do. But it's not it's not cookie cutter like Apex Legends is or Fortnite is or anything like that, because all those games were trying to copy Fortnite. Then you got Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, okay, Red Dead Redemption. You might not have people who are into Westerns like that.
Yeah.
Or into that type. You got it's like me and Devin, we were talking earlier, like I like Warriors games, but if I'm gonna play a Warriors game, I want a theme that I like. If I'm gonna play a shooter, I want a theme that I'm gonna like.
Right.
So you have to look at the themes versus what's going on also. And I think people are actually kind of tired of Fortnite, Apex Legends games like that. Or they're making a shooter game that's not in a genre people like.
All right.
We got
not cartoony.
Yeah, we got to take into consideration too that how big Gears outperforming Fortnite online is. That when Xbox had that horrible 26% or 56% drop quarterly in the gaming division, that was because of Fortnite. That was because Fortnite had underperformed, and PlayStation had experienced a drop too, but they have other titles that they can piggyback off of.
Right,
Fortnite has been doing, as far as Xbox is concerned, Fortnite has been doing it. So for Gears to be outperforming Fortnite, that's a big deal. just to put perspective on it. But to hell with all that. There's something special I want to talk about before Dirt goes. I want to talk about this attack on Digital Foundry.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah,
I'm not going nowhere until you're done with it.
So as you all know, Digital Foundry put out their analysis of Gears 5, and they were impressed. They were impressed with certain visual aspects, particularly lighting, light scattering, surface textures, and HDR like that, right? And there were some other things they had mentioned too, but those are the things that they really focused on. They also said in the video that those specific elements were good and next to, I think the word that they, or the phrase that they used, to the level of Naughty Dog. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Why the hell did they say that?
Oh my.
Because the ponies went berserk. It's not good. They started comparing it to the PlayStation 2 games and Nintendo SNES games and shit like that. And now we have a couple of videos out there that I'll say, as far as accuracy concerned, they do point out some small superficial downgrades and elemental effects as far as like boxes here or maybe some plaster on the wall. But overall, to your boy, they do not denounce the appraise that Digital Foundry did. And before I pass this to the panel, I want to say I am not a believer in Digital Foundry as far as them being a major pillar in our gaming decision. I just think it's a form of entertainment. I made a video that, remember the STFU award, where I said, you know, it was better off if they weren't around because people cling on them so much. And they have made mistakes in the past, and it seems like they made some mistakes in this video. But what I want to address and get the panel's thoughts on is the fact that people are trying to make it seem like that they are lying about it. They've lied about everything, that the whole video is a farce. What do you first, Dirt, I know you got to go, but what do you think? First, we'll give it to Dirt, Nethos, and whoever else after that. Dirt, what do you think about that whole prospect?
Well, man, the whole thing, I couldn't even really watch the video.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed to me like, damn, let us have something, y'all. I mean, damn, you know, my beloved Xbox has been getting smacked all generation. Mm-hmm. We finally got a good AAA game, and Digital Foundry agreed with us, said it's quality, it's a great game, and people still want to try to go out of their way.
Yeah.
Going out of their way to say, nah. It ain't really all that. Now, I understand how the console war works. I do. But I was a little like, I guess I would say not upset, because I don't get upset about this shit, but a little disappointed. Like, bro, come on, bro. You know, and I just didn't like the whole thing. I mean, but that's what happens, I guess, in this console war. Guys try to discredit. Like Xbox guys tried to discredit Digital Foundry earlier this gen. But at the end of the day, if you want to be honest with it, Digital Foundry is just doing their damn jobs. Yeah. At the beginning of the gen, PlayStation was more powerful, and they let it be known. And they, you know, they might do some extra shit, but they let it be known. And when the X came out, Xbox One S is more powerful. So I would say I was more disappointed than anything, man. It's just, you don't have to go out of your way for that shit, to me, man.
Chris Hart in the chat says, "Are they Pony Foundry still?" I don't know. Ask somebody that said that. Like what we're gonna do, because I know we have more active brain cells than that. Here I go, I'm on my shit. We're not going to clump everybody that prefers an Xbox controller in one box, like we all come out of some Queen Hive or some shit. Like there's some master damn, I can't even think. Some master Spider Queen Xbox insect that birthed all of us, right? We're not going to do that. Hey, Noah, what's up, man? You got a lot of feedback, bro. So with that being said, whoever said that they were Pony Digital Foundry, go ask them. You know, and again, I'm not Christopher. I'm not targeting you. You have echoed the sentiments of a lot of people, and
most of these guys are ponies now that said that, by the way.
Yeah, and Rand has, and I'm just echoing what Randolph Thor said, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Go find the people that said they were. I think what Digital Foundry's problem is, and I'm gonna pass it over to Nethos. I think what Digital Foundry's problem is when they don't like something, they may go a little bit too far. When they like something, they go a little bit too far. They like to do what I say, my favorite word is, they like to bloviate, okay? But that doesn't mean that because they bloviate a little bit, that they're doing something nefarious. They may just be wrong, and they shouldn't be, like Metacritic, at the pillar of your gaming decisions. Because when they don't agree with you, then you guys act butthurt like this. I'm going to shut up and pass it to Nethos. What do you think about this?
Bloviate, man, that's like the word of the day, isn't it? That's cool.
Bloviate.
Bloviate. But look, I know Xbox fans, a lot of them were guilty, like mooch crap, all that. Even there's some receipts of me, and I look a little spooky out there, I can't deny it, of media bias and Pony Foundry, or whatever the fuck we called it. Here's the thing, I never really necessarily believed that Digital Foundry was necessarily biased, but rather that they were just pushing the console war, especially at the beginning of the generation, especially when like they were getting more popular. Like, they've been around since the 360 and all that, but they really got popular this generation to push 1080p and all that. Yeah. And Digital Foundry, they were up to their shit back in the beginning of the gen. I remember they would take clips from like commercials or do whatever they had to do to get an analysis going of an Xbox versus PS4. Oh, look, Xbox is using upscaling technology. Oh, look, they're using a dynamic resolution. They were on their shit at the beginning of the generation, and they're even to the point where developers literally didn't show their games. Like Doom 2016, they showed their game later because they didn't want Digital Foundry to grab it and do their analysis and like ruin any hype for it. Yeah. They were at that point. That's why I think Digital Foundry had to take a step back and start doing so much, because literally probably developers started speaking to them. But at the end of the day, Digital Foundry is not biased. They don't have an agenda. They just do their job. And for people who are saying like, well, look, Crobat, look, King Thrash, whoever, I'm going to name names here. Yeah. They did their analysis and Digital Foundry missed the stuff. Okay, Digital Foundry missed some stuff. But what I have an issue with is when you say they're paid off. They have an agenda. They're doing whatever they can to make Microsoft look better. That's when this shit becomes weird. It's one thing if they miss something, but it's a whole nother thing if you said they are biased and being paid off.
And I want to address this.
That's what makes you look spooky. Go ahead.
And I'm going to address this. I'm going to let the panel, and I'm going to shut up because, you know, again, my disclaimer, I haven't had my Geritol today. So here's the problem. For those of you that say that the Crobat, and this is my homie, no, but, you know, it is what it is. All fair and telling the truth. King Thrash's video, I'm just going to say this real quick. I don't necessarily have a problem with Crobat's video. Again, and in Thrash, I hope you don't think I'm attacking you, but I don't have a problem with Crobat's video, because what Crobat's video is doing is showing that, in his opinion, there's been a downgrade to visuals, because when you go shoot walls, the plaster doesn't pop, or you shoot a window, the window doesn't pop, or when you go shoot a cardboard box, the box doesn't pop the way it used to, right? That's fine. That's a silly argument to me, but again, it's not attacking the credibility of Digital Foundry, which I think is going too far. Thrash's video, on the other hand, does that. And it's not just that's ridiculous, but the arguments that he used, the strongest arguments that he used, let's deal with it right now. First and foremost, it was the smoke effect, where he said, yeah, the smoke stacked in digital, okay, there's three. The smoke stack, he showed a small smoke stack in Gears 5, that didn't dissipate in the air at the frequency that it did in Gears 3. Stop it. He also showed fruit that when you shot it, it disappeared in the ground, which was apparently a glitch. Because I did a stream on my Twitch channel, go to twitch.tv/MightyMost2000, where I shot shit like papers and a water polo and stuff like that, and it had physics to it. It reacted to it the same way that Thrash claims that the shit don't react to it, but there are some things like boxes that don't have physics to them. They just get bullet marks on them. So it's clear that what Coalition did is they focused more on texture lighting and less ragdolling than they did on superficial things like apples and plates and stuff like that. But shit like that does have a physics to it. And lastly, the most ridiculous thing, I'm sorry, Thrash, is the particle thing that he was saying. He said that the particle scattering comment that Digital Foundry made was false, because when you draw particle scattering, the air must be red. King's a simple Google search would have shown all you that are capping for this that the source that he used was somebody with 2,000 subs on YouTube that was hand drawing an air. You're comparing that to Digital Foundry and Coalition, a AAA developer. You're comparing the technique of someone that hand draws airs to a AAA developer. And you all are capping for that? And I'm supposed to take what y'all saying seriously. Like, if I had enough money, I would get CAT scans for all of y'all. Wake up, take whatever doses you need, see whatever psychiatrist is available. I think there's an app for that right now, and wake the hell up. Stop getting on this hate train for Xbox. Just because Gears 5 is getting some acclaim doesn't mean that it all of a sudden makes Gears better than Uncharted. What is better is subjective. Uncharted is going to be Uncharted, and when Last of Us 2 comes out, its graphics are going to look better. So stop this. Y'all are on borderline sicko, wacko. It's getting ridiculous. Now I shut up and I pass it back to the panel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, we do have to say goodbye to Dirk Griggity. You want to say a word?
Yeah, I gotta go, man. I can't leave my man out there for too long. Shit.
I'm sorry, man. My bad.
What you sorry for? Shit, that was great.
Hey, this is getting ridiculous, but yeah.
You know.
Be safe.
No, yes, I gotta get out of here,
sir.
y'all. Yeah, I will. And it's still raining hard outside. I'm like, damn. But anyway, yeah, I gotta go, man. But the panel will hold it down. Peace out, y'all. I gotta go. Thanks to the chat for the people that came and shit. But all right, y'all.
Yeah, but me and Monty Moss, we got our little rant in. Noah or Devin, do you guys want to speak on that?
Yeah, definitely.
We can let you go, Devin.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, he can go first.
Okay.
Good.
All right. All I want to say is, bro, where all these doctorate degrees come from? Like, bro, I'm seeing people pull up pie charts and biology lessons and chemists and people outside dropping leaves from the ground and measuring the calculating the geometry, bro. When did we start doing that with video games?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
Like, bro, if you took a fine tooth comb and look for imperfections in some of the PlayStation games, you'll find them too.
Like Noah, to that point, there's somebody on Twitter that said Uncharted's gunplay is better, and they showed Nathan Drake shooting off a rocket next to his wife, and his wife is gingerly walking by the rocket, and all the rocket does is it blows the leaves off. It creates this smoldering ash on the rock, but it doesn't do nothing to the leaves.
The grass is still standing.
Thank you.
If you do that in Gears, you're dead.
You're dead.
Suicide.
You're dead. Coalition must die if they do that. This is what I'm saying. This is borderline ridiculous. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the different standards that are set are ridiculous. I get the console war stuff, but people are legitimately upset and ready to grab pitchforks, believing that Digital Foundry got a check from Microsoft to say things were good that are actually good. And the reason why I'm so vigorously denying the bullshit that y'all are trying to believe is because guess what? I played the fucking game. 99.9% of y'all ain't played the game, but y'all capping for this.
They said the water don't ripple when you're walking in rapid moving water doesn't ripple. Go to a river and stand in a fast moving stream or water like a river or something. And tell me if it ripples if you walk through it.
This is what they don't understand. Sony is masters at aesthetic pleasure. Okay, what do I mean by that? They know how to make things pop and make things move that are aesthetically pleasing. Like, for instance, that scene where a rocket shoots out of his shoulder, goes over a bunch of leaves, and all the leaves do is they bounce back and forth, like they at the club. They just bounce back. That's aesthetically pleasing, but that's not fucking realistic. In real life, those leaves would have went to smoldering ash. So what I'm saying is that I get what you guys are saying, that, you know what I'm saying, you have your preferences on your type of games, but Sony has their visual art style, Coalition has theirs. One doesn't have to erase the other. They're both different styles, but they're both good looking. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And another thing too, a lot of people are looking at compressed videos, and a lot of people are comparing Gears 5 to what's in memory. But if you pull up both games side by side or play one after the other, you'll see the visual step the graphical leap that Gears 5 has compared to some of the big blockbuster titles on the PlayStation. And not to say those games look bad, they don't. But like
Gears
Z
5
said,
is
then you
just a
compare.
general step up, honestly. Like, okay, when you start Gears 5, it shows you a recap of Gears 4, right? That we just skipped past because that was boring. I'm shocked how much better the graphics are in Gears 5. Gears 4 looks terrible now.
Right.
It looks terrible now.
And it's not to say that everything is perfect. I mean, there's things in there that you'd be like, okay, they cheaped out on this. But at the same time, you're getting 60 frames per second. Like,
yeah, I'm glad they optimized for the 60 frames opposed to like the small shit. Look, here's the thing: this generation has low bandwidth. It does. CPUs are shit. The memory bandwidth in general is fucking low. So they focus on the frame rate and other visual effects over like maybe physics. I mean, you've been saying this for the longest time. The physics last generation across the board were just better. And this goes for Sony games. This goes for Ubisoft games. This goes for all games. I mean, why do you think a lot of these Bethesda games have been struggling so much? It's that fucking engine doesn't work well this generation because everything in a Bethesda game, like a Fallout, whatever, reacts.
You know what I find so funny is that some of the same people like, oh man, give me frames over resolution. And now you got this big AAA title from Microsoft that's hitting 60 frames pretty consistently. And now we're talking about knocking cups off the table.
We're talking about shooting apples,
pulling out strings,
shooting apples and plates, and smokestacks.
And again, I'm not even necessarily going after his findings, even though I find them some of them questionable. I'm saying, why are you saying Digital Foundry is biased, making Microsoft look better and being paid off?
But nothing.
That's what I'm saying. This
but
is
nothing.
No, my question is, where's the video that exposes Uncharted 4? Where's the video that
exposes the Order 1886? I mean, that is not so glorious.
There's not going
to be. There's a lot of shit they took.
Look,
a lot of shit.
We have to stop this again being in a silo. People are knocking Gears because it isn't a total revamp like God of War. Every game is not going to be a total kudos to God of War for revamping its game and being as great as it is. Every game is not going to have 3,000 developers working 95 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Like Red Dead Redemption 2, where everything has physics to it, okay? We can't just hold those two games as the litmus of that we want out of everything. We got to have a diversity here.
Yeah.
And
Red Dead 2 took a whole generation to fucking make.
Yeah, to make. And then people are saying it's boring at that. With that being said, we can't, nothing in those videos, even though, again, there were some valid points about there being some degrades and some physics, but nothing really takes away the praise that Digital Foundry was given to the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good looking game.
You know what's spooky about this, Moss? You know what makes this spooky? Giving credence to these small things, I'm not saying they're not there, but giving credence to them gives credence to the dumb shit Xbox fanboys were saying about Spider-Man. You know I was capping for that game. Everybody knows I was capping for that game. Now some of my best videos are out there about that game.
Yep.
Now Puddlegate and all that, you gave credence to it because of this.
Exactly. Yeah, you make Puddlegate legitimate, and I did a video on it too. I did a video that said Puddlegate was stupid. Like I told my Xbox brethren that you are fighting a silly battle worrying about puddles. Like you need to worry about the quality of your game. I don't do Microsoft capping, y'all know that. But I am not jumping off this hate train. I'm not jumping on this hate train with y'all off the ledge. Like stop it, it's getting ridiculous. Devin or Bunny, did y'all have any comments on this?
My whole thing is all of it is stupid. I mean, yeah, there's no perfect game. None. You find me a perfect game, and I guarantee you something I'm about it. But the fact of going out here and like basically what they're doing, what people are doing to Gears is the same thing that people did to Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. This is actually getting to making it where gaming is getting boring because, when any big production comes out, both sides are going to have a whole bunch of shit to say about it. And then you just don't even want to bother with it.
See, my thing is a critic's opinion doesn't differ mine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You're gonna play it whether you want to play it or not. No matter what all these people are saying.
Like if your opinion of a game
It's based on
is
another
different,
man's. Yeah.
yeah, it's based on someone else's, especially a critic or even another gamer. You're a bot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And here,
And I mean, and that's on
I
any
pull an
side.
example. Yeah.
Not exactly an Xbox, but you're just a bot in general. Like if you're going
Yeah.
off with someone else and not your own, like it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, but saying all that, it reminds me back in the day when I would say people were running with the bias media, and just so people know if they could try to pull more receipts on me, I used to be on that mooching crap Kool-Aid. I'm not gonna deny it. I used to believe in bias media, but then I smartened up. Moss believed it a little bit too, and then I beat him behind the scenes until he stopped believing in it.
I still believe it a little bit secretly.
But
Don't tell nobody.
We smartened up. We smartened up, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I remember back, Digital Foundry made a video about Rise of the Tomb Raider. Did you guys get to play that game when it first came out, or did you play it later on?
I didn't get to play
I
it.
played it fairly early.
I played it when it first came out.
Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Digital Foundry destroyed that fucking game, and it's still beautiful.
I loved it.
So it doesn't matter what their opinion is.
Yeah.
You just look at what you look at.
Hey, I want to say this until Gears 5 came out, Rise of the Tomb Raider was like my number one as far as graphics. Like as far as a whole package, Rise of the Tomb Raider was the best looking game on PC.
Yeah.
I'll just say it.
To be clear on PC. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, you got to ask yourself, and then the content creators too. You got to ask yourself, look at your material. If at least half of your material is hating on a system that y'all say is garbage, then we got to question your integrity. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that. If 50% or more of your material is based upon hating on something else that you say is trash, like Xbox is being outsold 2-1. They're getting curb stomped. Them having one little game that gets some accolades ain't going to change a thing. It's okay. You can criticize whatever you want. But when you jump out on a limb and try to say that someone's being purposefully dishonest, you know what I'm saying? Then that's a whole nother kit and caboodle. And then if we look at your lineup of work, and it's hating on something that you don't like anyway, then we got
clear bias.
We got it's clear bias, media bias. And I'm gonna say this: people may be saying MM2K, but you talk shit on Xbox all day. That's my preferred console. I want them to do better. That's why I talk shit on them. I'm not gonna talk. I don't talk that much shit on PlayStation because I don't really give a fuck about the system. I'm sorry, you know. So
hey, there's a difference between constructive criticism and disgust.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Well, when we criticize the Xbox, it's like, hey, this is what I want to. I want to see this. I want to see this done differently. I want this to be better. When they do it, I'm disgusted with this system. Nothing they do can ever be good enough. That's the difference.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
like for example, Monty Moss. You want it better for Xbox. We all do. Me, Noah, I'm sure Devin, and even Bunny, right? Even though she doesn't have one. But so when they get a good game like Gears, we give it its due diligence. Maybe we point out a few things, but we say, "Good job, Microsoft. This is the direction you should be going in." An Xbox hater would find every flaw in even Gears.
Yeah.
They don't want Xbox to improve. They want it to remain bad. You're not an Xbox fan. You're not a neutral. Yep. You're just a hater.
Like, I'm not a big fan of PlayStation games, right? But
it's just another Gears. But when Uncharted 5 gets announced, they stuck to the original recipe.
That's US Gamer. Remember US Gamer? It's just another Gears. But then it was like, Uncharted is still Uncharted, and that's wonderful. Look, I don't like PlayStation games, but I like.
But that's not biased.
I like God of War. I really like God of War. Is God of War perfect to me? No. There are several flaws that I can pick out, but I didn't nitpick that. You can watch my video on YouTube when I beat God of War. I had nothing but praise for it, even though it's not. I don't like it as much as a lot of PlayStation fans do, but I really, really like the game. I didn't focus on the negatives. I focused on the fact that it's a good game, and I want them to build on the game to make it even better. That's not hating. But if you got to constantly nitpick because you want to validate your choice, then we got to question your methods behind that. That's all.
I don't understand why you're even nitpicking if you can get the game anyways.
Yeah.
It's like you're limited
Yeah.
to one console.
I don't like from my standpoint, you know what I'm saying? I look at what PlayStation has and I'm like, man, they got these great single player games, these games with these awesome campaigns, and I want more of that on Xbox. But when you look on the flip side, a lot of PlayStation guys hate to admit that they want more multiplayer games from Sony.
No, some of them are just afraid to admit that because they remember the PS3 and what they were doing. That wasn't the answer.
Yeah, true.
You gotta make good games.
I mean, Sony took an attempt at it and it failed. Yeah. But that doesn't mean they should
have
stop.
to make good games.
Yeah.
Right. Like I would rather Microsoft swing and miss with Rise 2 and another Quantum Break or whatever, and just say, hey, we're just not gonna make those type of games anymore. I would that's not how you win your customer.
I mean, look at Control, right? Control, I hear is head and heels better than Quantum Break. I haven't played it myself.
Control is amazing.
Right?
Control is amazing.
Let's be real though, Noah. I mean, I've only seen gameplay, right? But Control really looks like a Quantum Break sequel, which is called something else, a spiritual successor, right?
Right.
Like that literally could have been Quantum Break 2.
Exactly.
Right. But it wouldn't have got the same amount of appeal and love as it would have if it wasn't.
Maybe not, but that's why you have your Game Pass or whatever. Like you have to keep trying. This is the shit why I don't agree with Microsoft. If it don't make money, they just don't continue. It's fucking dumb. Like imagine if Sony believed in that shit. You wouldn't have Uncharted like it is now. You wouldn't have God of War like it is now. Like God of War Ascension, that didn't do good. I don't know if the portables did good, but they took a risk. And even with God of War, they had quality control because the original version of this new God of War, it was Yoshida or someone, he didn't like it. He made them redo it, and that was for the better. Microsoft needs that.
Yeah, you gotta respect that.
I'm heavily pushing back, and again, this ain't no salty tears or whatever. I don't even care about Gears. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care about Gears. I'm waiting for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Y'all heard me all weekend saying,
yeah, man. So you were camping for that shit. Nobody would boot up.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I got 3 hours.
I'm about to upload. I'm a Tom Clancy fan too.
Yep. I got 3 hours. I'm about to upload to that shit. Way more time I've spent in Gears. With that being said, here's why I'm fighting back with a lot of this foolery. I've been dogging, and Dirt will tell you, because me and Dirt been at it, FC's been at it, FC Watergate has been telling me about how I've been demeaning Xbox Game Pass for the last several months, and I hate. And I've been doing all of my criticism because I want Xbox to change its course. Now that they're starting to change their course and they're increasing their quality, starting with Gears 5, and them pushing back a little bit on all this, some of the Kumbaya stuff, I want them to continue to turn in the right direction.
You don't want them to get complacent.
I don't want them to get complacent, or I don't want them to say
just strive better.
What I don't want them to do, Bunny, is I don't want them to say, see, we did what the people like MM2K said, and we're still getting hammered. Fuck it. We're going to do State of Decay 3, Sea of Thieves 2. You see what I'm saying? Letting y'all get away with this silly nitpicking is going to force that narrative back at Redmond, and this is going to be all for naught. And I can't let that happen. I understand the responsibility that I have, even if you don't understand the responsibility you have. Period.
But I can't say this. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but you gotta also think about, like, you're like what you're saying. You don't want Microsoft to start, turning things around and going back to the way they were. But also, Microsoft needs to step up their own game, like with Crackdown 3. Now you saw how long it took for them to do that, and all this stuff and all the issues they had with it, but that they still released it. Okay, they have to also take some responsibility. Like with what you were saying, Yoshida did with God of War. He didn't like it, and he made them redo it. Nintendo is doing that right now with Metroid. Everybody was hyped and everything for Metroid, but Metroid was not what they wanted, and they took it all away and gave it to somebody else to do it. Granted, Crackdown was in production for 6 years, but you would have known 3 years ago, had this game had all these issues, you should have stopped it then and restarted it.
Well, let me interject there. Crackdown 3 is not a bad game. The only problem with Crackdown 3 is the hype surrounding it. You know, this
That's
was
no, but that's what I'm saying. They built all this, but that's what I'm saying. They built all this hype up for it. So when
right,
people were getting it to come out, they were expecting something phenomenal, something to blow their drawers
right,
off, but they got nothing
Right.
of that sort. That's what I'm
exactly,
saying. If you're gonna build up something that much and then you're gonna release something subpar, yeah, you're gonna have issues. If you wanted to
exactly.
hype it that hardcore, then 3 years ago, you should have stopped it and started reproduction of it and given it to another studio.
Hey, King
To
X
Right,
Player.
They
right.
should
that
cancel that fucking
Mike,
game,
and
man.
that comes down to marketing. Like Microsoft needs to understand like what's a small, like it's like boxing. They need to know what a small card is and what the main event is. Crackdown 3 is a small card. You know, you got your hardcore boxer fans that watch boxing for the little guys. You know, they catch all the fights. But the casuals, they just want to see that main fight. I just want to see Floyd and Pacquiao go at it. That's all I care about. I don't care about these other
Yeah,
guys. They have it.
but to be fair about Crackdown 3, you would say like maybe Scalebound would have had the potential to be a main fight, right? The potential at least, right?
So we believe. So we believe.
Okay, just from what we've seen, they canceled
Mhm.
that and a bunch of shit and left Crackdown.
Yeah.
That was, so they were really assuming now that we wanted just Crackdown and not those games
And
instead.
Phil had it in his head because what Phil doesn't understand is that he's in charge of a division where the consumer base doesn't think like him. He's charming. They love him. He's a nice guy. But the gaming philosophy of the diehard Xbox person really doesn't think like Phil. That's why they all left. Since he started this coffee shop shit. And now is he starting to have that reckoning and understand it. He's been a little bit more quiet and they starting to turn the boat. And to answer my boy Christopher Hart, keep it up, Christopher Hart. I love your comments in the chat. I do have to say this though, because he made a comment about, you know, what's wrong with nitpicking if you don't nitpick or something like that. How will Microsoft know what they need to change? There's a difference between being critical and going overboard. Being critical is saying that Crackdown 3 is trash, but going overboard is saying that Microsoft is is doing illegal activity, paying off Digital Foundry, which is illegal because of SEC intervention, paying off Digital Foundry for a review, right? That's illegal. You understand that, right? So when you sit there and you try to classify that as subnormal criticism, Microsoft says, "Fuck it, we're not." See, we tried to appease these motherfuckers, and now they saying we're doing illegal shit. We're done. You see what I'm saying? So there's got to be guardrails to this. Y'all can't go too overboard. I know people get riled up in this console war shit, but people have to be responsible for the words. Period.
It's just like being on a job. I don't know how many of you people have had like management positions or whatnot, but you can't just give feedback to people. People get defensive. You gotta there's methods to do it. Like certain methods, like the sandwich methods, like 2 positives and a negative. Like you have to, hey, I like this and I really like this here, but this is what I want to see different. That's how you give constructive feedback.
Mm-hmm. And you can be
But when you just shit on somebody, like you're doing this wrong, you suck at your job, you need to learn how to do better. Well, bitch, I quit. Fuck this job.
Yeah, this is how I think
You know
of
what
it, right? Let's see. Moss, do you remember our last FN of the day?
Yeah.
Who was that? E-Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, remember that clip where he says like, "Oh, he bought," and I don't know who the fuck he said. He bought and someone else said, God War and all that. That really ain't much. What were you saying about Spider-Man, the 74th game?
Yeah.
Like you look like, I'm sorry, you almost look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a little harsh to say, but you look foolish. How about that? You look foolish when you do that. You guys don't look much different from E-Rock.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Facts. I'm not even good. Facts. He hit it right on the nail. Facts. Y'all look like E-Rocks in blue instead of green. That's the way y'all look.
Yeah.
Y'all look like E-Rocks in blue instead of, what did I say? Instead of the Neo Emerald Occult, I said the Pansy Blue. Y'all look real suspect out here. Like Z says, you don't have to fight. Z has been kicking Phil's ribs in for the last 2.5 years. And even Z is telling y'all can't argue everything. It makes y'all look suspect out here, man. Facts.
And even Z has been enjoying years.
Yes.
So it's not like, yeah, okay, he kicking Xbox's ribs in and Phil's ribs in and everything, but at least he even acknowledges a game when he thinks it's good.
Exactly.
And I'm noticing a lot of PlayStation publications and PlayStation primary PlayStation channels, they like Gears 5. It's like it's just the trolls. The trolls don't know how to take it.
Yeah.
They're like, I can't believe my favorite YouTuber likes this game. He's supposed to hate Xbox. Yeah. I'm so confused right now.
Where's my puffer? I need my puffer. I'm having an asthma attack. Yeah, man, they crazy out here. But I think we hammered in on that. Any other thoughts on that before we move to the next subject?
I hope people just enjoy fucking Gears for one.
Gears 5 is fire. Gears 5 is fire. If it makes you feel better, Gears 5 is fire. God of War is fire. Uncharted 4 is dope. It's not top tier to me, but it's up there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the Last of Us 2 is about to be maybe the game of the generation. Who fucking knows?
Last of Us 2 was my presentation of the year last year, so
Ghost of Tsushima look like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 remake. I saw a little video clip of it today, and it looks amazing. I'm mad that it's not coming to Xbox. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it for the Pro when it comes out. But I like getting achievements. So if it drops on the Xbox, I'll probably double dip.
There's nothing wrong with being critical. There's nothing wrong with being jagged too. I'm very jagged.
You can like both. There's nothing wrong with liking games on both platforms.
I've called Phil Coffee Shop Phil, and said a whole bunch of crazy shit. But you don't go into claiming that they're doing illegal activity, right? Like, you guys can't just go way left with this shit and be serious about it. It's one thing when you're cutting up and just, and it's jokes. But if you're serious about this, then that's a problem. But with that said, let's move it right along. Speaking of PlayStation, insiders say that Sony has a big PlayStation event for the end of September. Which I think, anybody want to talk about? What y'all think about that? What could they be showing at that big event?
I'm thinking they might be revealing the PS5.
Oh, you know what? Oh, before that, I'm sorry.
That could be.
I'm sorry. Before we get into that, we got to do the Switch report. The Switch report with Snow Bunny. I'm sorry.
Well, you're fine. Right now, a lot's been going on. We got the 9.0.0 update, which, if anybody had the Game Pass for Fire Emblem Warriors, they were not able to play Fire Emblem Warriors so they did an update to get it so you can play Fire Emblem Warriors. Then they added some functions that we're trying to figure out everything going on with them. They've added where we can do an online play invite, where if you're playing online, you can invite your friends in. So we're trying to figure out which games that's going to be going for. And that's with supported software. They are now giving us, where in our Switch, when we go into it, we got a QR code now. To where we're thinking, right now they haven't told us what it's used for, but all of the QR codes are specific to our Switches. So we're thinking they might be doing something to where if you go to an event with your Switch and you pull up your QR code, you can log in that way. So that's what some speculations on that is. They are giving us alarm notifications. So we're not exactly sure what's going on with that, why all of a sudden we're allowed to have alarm notifications on Switch, unless it's some game coming out that's going to utilize it.
Hold on 1 second, Bunny. For anybody in my chat, King Player, I deeply apologize. I'm going to work on this. We had to do the show here last minute and I didn't turn it off. My Nightbot, which puts regular messages out there, is on crack cocaine. So if you type in all caps, it's going to spam you. So please be very careful. I deeply apologize. I will have it fixed before the next podcast. But that's why you guys are getting those messages. I'm so sorry. So go ahead.
Okay. Also in our news section, because Switch, for people who don't have a Switch, we have a section that's the news section where they'll put up like directs and things like that, or news about certain games. Well, now we have an option where we can search for, we didn't have it in the beginning, where we could search for specific news about specific games. So if there's any news about them, we can now we have a search engine to search through it all. So those were added in the update. Also added in the update was for the touch screen sensitivity, we have the standard, which is like our hands on the touch screen, but they also added a stylus sensitivity.
Ooh, giving you that BlackBerry feel. Now let me stop.
Yeah, I mean, some people were using the styluses for Mario Maker 2, but they didn't release the stylus here in America. It was released as a pre-order.
90% of the chat is like, what the fuck is a BlackBerry?
Huh?
I said 90% of the chat is like, what the hell is a BlackBerry?
Probably. I remember that. Now, as you guys know, on September 20th, the Switch Lite is being released. One of the updates that was in the 9.0.0 update for the Switch was specifically for the Switch Lite. It's basically making it so that when you pair up, like let's say you pair up a Pro controller to the Switch Lite, it makes it so that all the input commands on the Switch Lite you cannot use except for the home button. So you'll be able to use everything from the controller. And they also making it so that you can basically, like if it's in your bag or something, nothing to touch or activate where you can shut it down that way. Also, that was all in the 9.0 update for the Nintendo Switch. Also in Japan, if you're living in, you have a Japanese online account. In Japan, they are about to experience an increase in the price of their Switch Online service. And the only reason is because of they have a consumption law in Japan. It's about to jump from 8% to 10%. So starting on October 1st, they're going to have to pay a little bit more for their online service. This consumption
is like what for service? It's an extra tax. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and that's a law in Japan. Also, some people know about Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah,
it's being released for the Switch, the PlayStation 4, iOS, and Android.
What? No Xbox. Hey,
no Xbox.
I had Crystal Chronicles for the GameCube, and I had Game Boys for it. You could use your Game Boy as a joystick. I think it was. Yeah.
And you could have the link cable so 4 people can play together.
Oh, these mugs, they're crazy. They're crazy.
Well, here, Moss, listen to this now, because like I said, it's on PlayStation 4, iOS, Android, and Switch. They still have the multiplayer option for it. But what Square Enix is trying to strive for is cross-play among all devices. So if you're on your Android and you have somebody playing on Switch, they're trying to make it so everybody can play together. Square Enix is pushing for that.
Microsoft, you got to start namming these games, man. Sorry.
And then the only thing else I was going to say is for physical games being released in the month of September for the Switch, there's a total of 15 games. That's just physical. I'm not including digital because God knows how many games that is digital.
That's insane. That is insane.
But we have 15 physical games slated to be released in October alone. Not October. That's September alone.
It's content. That's what we need.
So, and it starts off kicking off Friday with Star Wars Pinball, which I have no idea what it is because I was never interested in that. And then the big one is Demon X Machina or Machina or however it's pronounced, the mech game. Then starting on the 17th, we're getting Lego Jurassic World. I don't know if that's coming out on other platforms or not, but it's coming out on the Switch on the 17th. And then we have a fishing game, Real Fishing Road Trip Adventure, which is like a RPG fishing game. I can't wait for that one to come out. And then the 20th is where the big boy drops, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Oh, that's coming this soon? Shit.
That's September 20th on the day that the Switch Lite releases. Also, the Link's Awakening amiibo is coming out, along with 3 more Smash amiibos, which is Snake, Squirtle, and Ivysaur. Also, Nino Kuni Wrath of the White Witch is dropping on the 20th.
Yeah, I noticed that because I noticed that because Nino Kuni, the remake. Is that the remake that was from the PlayStation 3, or is this a new one?
I'm believing it's the one that was remastered.
Yeah. That I noticed that because it's coming on. It's coming on the PlayStation, Xbox. You got to get these games, man. You got to get these games. I already pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it for PlayStation.
Yep, it's coming out on the 20th. Also on the Switch, the Trine series 1 through 3 is releasing on the 20th. And then on the week after that, on the 24th, we have AI, the Summoning Files, Contra Road Corpse, Killer Queen Black, which is also coming to the Xbox One. And also we're getting Dead by Daylight, the definitive edition. So, but here's what's crazy. And I'm noticing they're going to have this in October also. But so the 24th is on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
On the 26th, which is Thursday, with Darksiders 2, the Dead Edition coming out on the 26th, which is a Thursday. And then the 27th, we have Dragon Quest 11, FIFA 20, which is going to probably be a dumbed down version of FIFA, and Tesla Grad on the 27th. So we got a lot coming on. And like I said, this is the physical games. I cannot tell you how many of them or how many games are coming out digital, because Nintendo tends to drop 10 to 15 of them a week digital. And that's something actually me and Devin we were talking about, because I was saying that if I had to forcefully get rid of my Switch and pick between a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox, sadly I would have to go with PlayStation 4, because a lot of the third-party games that I have are not even on Xbox.
And that is going to be the problem. This is why the 360, I think, even though they still were being outpaced by the PlayStation 3 in these other regions, but they perform. It's like elections. You know, you may be a Republican, but if you're fighting hard in a Democratic section, it'll help your numbers all together, and vice versa. If you're a Democrat in a Republican county, vice versa. The same thing applies to gaming. Because the 360 had more games that appealed across the board, they didn't sell more in regions like Asia or whatever, but because they competed better, their numbers were higher altogether. And like Bunny said, when you're making a choice, this is why this connects to what I said about Game Pass. When you're making a choice as a casual gamer, all right, and you're like, shit, what am I going to get? You're looking at the system that has the best options. And if I'm in one of these other regions, I'm not picking up an Xbox, because to me, I mean, we joke around and say Xbox has no games, but literally in these other regions, Xbox has no games. So if you're listening to Xbox, again, we like the fact that you're starting to turn the tide, but you guys really got to work hard. Like these remastered AAA, or not AAA, remastered games like Looney Cooney, you guys should have that. It should be in the bag. You guys just got to work better to do that. So,
I mean, yeah, and that's
anything
the thing.
else
So, yeah.
on the Switch reports?
Nope, I got a whole slew. I'll talk about when we get to October.
All right, that is excellent. See, damn, that system is popping. I might actually get one.
I got 4 games. I got 4 games this month. I'm getting.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I don't have 4 games on multiple platforms that I'm interested in, but see, system is popping. With that said, all right. I'm sorry. Now back to Sony having the big event coming at the end of September, and I want to throw in there too, The Last of Us 2. Right? there is talks that Sony plans a full event for The Last of Us 2 on the 24th. So it sounds like it's going to be a big month for Sony. What does the panel think about that? Anybody want to pick that up?
Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to tell you about the Switch, and I wonder if it's got something to do with this, because this was an all of a sudden thing for Sony to announce.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch showed some weird video, and tomorrow they're actually releasing what that video is about.
Oh, okay.
It's something brand new that it looks like something fitness related though. But like I said, all of a sudden Sony is coming out with that. What is it coming out? The first thing coming out? Because they're going to be two events.
Well, it's just an event. There's a secret event coming. They have a PlayStation event for the end of September. But then they've also said that on the 24th of September, Sony plans a full event for Last of Us 2.
Yeah, so I'm actually thinking that second secret event might be announced in PlayStation 5.
Okay.
That's what my thoughts is.
I don't know. This early? That's a good point. Anybody want to tackle that? Y'all think? How plausible do y'all think it is that the PlayStation 5 is going to get announced this month?
Technically it's already announced, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that is true. But a release like more of like a release time or a full showing of the system. Like,
typically they do that in the beginning of the year, but who knows?
Yeah.
Gaming right now is so crazy. Like I said, Nintendo has always done what the hell Nintendo wanted to do. But Xbox has been doing some odd shit this gen. It doesn't mean to say that Sony might just be like, oh, let's do some crazy shit ourselves.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on what Sony, they plan on, these are rumors. They're going to do a Last of Us 2 announcement or in this secret event. Any thoughts or suggestions what this secret event could be just in general? Anybody? No thoughts? Devin? Anybody?
I don't really give a shit.
Well, honesty is always the best policy. Oh God. All right, and let's see what else we got. Okay, so let me stir the pot up a little bit. Okay. Stir the pot up a little bit, because you know me, I like to start some shit. Well, hold on. Before I start some shit up, while we're on the subject of Sony still, did anybody see the Death Stranding footage that was supposed to be shown today? I didn't get a chance to see it.
I didn't see it either. I've been watching it.
Yeah, I see a timestamp for it, but what Sony is doing is they're not ending the fucking stream so you can go back to it, and they deactivated your ability to rewind the video, so it stays live. Fuck? Yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know what's going on, bro.
That's a Kojima request too.
For real?
Yeah, because Kojima doesn't want you to watch it.
Is that a good sign or a bad sign?
No. They'll look at it like, that's a great sign.
Yeah.
Apparently because the footage was like, I don't know, not necessarily that great. Because
said he saw
they had on the ultra easy mode.
I don't know. From the last reveal.
Be honest, Heath, you said you seen it, bro. Be honest. What are your thoughts on it? When you get a chance in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I get when a publisher is eccentric, you know what I'm saying, and they do things a little different. With that being said, this is altogether weird. We had Mark Cerny and see this, this ain't bloviating. I'm not making up shit here. I'm not nitpicking. We had Mark Cerny at PSX that said, we don't know what this game is.
Yeah, this is what it says from Nestbot or whatever. Kojima warns us not to watch the TGS footage if you trust him. Gameplay is directed to people who aren't convinced. Yeah. What the fuck?
What the fuck does that mean? Stop all this weird shit, man. At some point in time,
people like me who are not convinced.
Yeah.
They don't want me to see it.
Yeah. I don't know what this is.
That sounds
being said,
counterproductive.
It makes you wonder if he's doing all this fluff because there's nothing there. And then I'm gonna throw this out there because I'm gonna start some shit. Like I said, I still have the tinfoil hat belief that Death Stranding ain't releasing this year. I know it sounds crazy. I just don't think the game is done. I don't think the game, even for a weird ass Kojima game, we have not seen enough. I may not be a big Kojima fan, but there's always been more meat and potatoes in his game than this shit. I know he's always talked obscure about his games, but it's never been this empty. Like, I've never felt this empty about his game. So I don't think that it's ready. And I think Sony, and again, this is tinfoil, I think Sony made this announcement at the beginning of the year because Xbox was getting some heat. You know, Sony likes to keep their foot on Xbox's neck. Xbox was gaining some steam, and this was their way to quench that steam. With that being said, what do y'all think? Y'all think this game's still going to ship, or y'all think it's ready? Or what are y'all thoughts on Death Stranding?
Yeah, it's coming out.
It's coming out. Anybody else? Noah, what you think? Or is Noah sitting there? Is he breaking pieces too?
I don't.
I think it's coming out, but I think it's.
Oh, here it goes.
I honestly think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be.
It's showing it now.
Oh, they showing it now. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, where?
On the PlayStation Presents live show. It's
The
being
big show.
shown right
I'm
now.
gonna watch the recap on
No
that.
NPCs. Is he gonna walk
And
somewhere?
it looks like he's sleeping, cradling the baby.
Let me do this. I might get flagged, so I ain't gonna do it. I was gonna.
So it's on PlayStation's channel.
Yeah, it's on PlayStation.
PlayStation Japan.
Yeah, and if they're being not weird about it, we might get flagged. So I won't show.
Oh
it.
no, don't. I wouldn't show that.
But yeah, we'll go back and watch.
No, it looks. It's the same gameplay from. Well, you've already seen this.
Yeah, it's just him pissing on a plant.
Yeah, it's from.
Okay, yeah, they're
Game
showing
Awards.
the same gameplay from. I don't know. There might have been. I mean, Steven said he saw it. It's definitely coming out. He says in the chat. And on PlayStation and GameSpot, it's like a 7-minute explanation of what's going on. You can tell it's probably at the beginning of the game.
Looking at Death Stranding right now, I'm not like as impressed because of Gears 5.
Oh shit! See, Nethos. See, look, what Nethos say is not in conjunction with the whole panel of Scram Punks. I ain't want all that smoke. Not today. Not today. I done already.
Granted, I'm watching a heavily compressed footage though.
Yeah. I'm gonna be. Yeah, I was gonna say that I don't remember it not looking like this. So I think it is the video effects. I think that it just doesn't look. It's the same footage. No, is it the same footage?
Yeah, he's about to go up and meet Jeff Keighley.
Okay. Yeah, this doesn't look as good. It's not as good as the other one.
But it didn't even look good back in the Game Awards.
Now I have seen impressive video.
Looks like a knockoff
I
Metal
mean,
Gear
it's just
Solid
compressed
game.
footage though. I need to see that shit in front of me.
And that's the crazy thing, Devin. Devin said that it looks like a knockoff Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, I see.
I think they'll show new footage after this, but right now they're recapping the old footage.
Now, what could have happened, though, guys, is that the brainchild of this game was what Kojima, what Konami could have done is Kojima could have been working on a new game, and that prototype of that game, Konami had access to, and that prototype they used to make Metal Gear Solid, which that same prototype probably ended up becoming what is Death Stranding now. Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of similarities in Death Stranding and Metal Gear Solid.
I just realized where
Gear
Jeff
Survive.
Keighley lives. Where Jeff Keighley lives in this game has a literal Kojima like logo on it.
Yeah.
Like I just put the 2 and 2 together there. Like he is literally a fanboy in a game.
And then again, this questions the integrity of the whole award system. That's why I say awards, Metacritic.
Why is the chat disabled? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat's been disabled.
The chat. Oh, they looking spooky out here, bruh. They looking spooky as hell. You can't rewind the footage. They disabled the chat. Oh man.
What's your
It's been
opinion on
disabled,
Konami?
so-
Konami's making a comeback next generation because they're going to make AAA games finally again. Do you think Konami took a step back because they put too many eggs in the basket for Kojima? It didn't work out like they wanted it.
Absolutely. I think
they put too much faith in him.
I'm going to be honest with you. I look, again, I'm not trying to be a fortune teller. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, MM2K, you're making shit out of thin air." No. See, when you've dealt with execs for as long as I have, and you understand we call it banker's babble that they do in front of the public to make things seem good, but you can read faces. You can see tension when other people can't see tension. I think Konami was starting to get agitated with Kojima, and I'm starting to feel some of that same agitation from Sony. You know what I'm saying? Like, they understand and they respect the rock starness that is Kojima, but they're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And they're trying their best to put some product placement behind this game. All this, you showing this and showing that and doing this, I think this is all of Sony's doing because they've invested a lot in this game. They've done a lot for this game. They've even took up the trademarking, and they're like, hold on, this has to come to fruition somehow, and it's making sense to nobody. But again,
so when you fall off a cliff like that, you don't break your leg?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Why didn't the baby crash because he landed directly on
The
the
baby's
baby?
crying. He has to calm it down.
Rock BB.
Actually, everyone get nitpicky. Just keep watching.
Fiber.
Yeah, just keep watching. You're gonna see him start sliding down the hill, and it looks so unrealistic. If we want to get nitpicky now,
Steep has.
But we're not gonna call out that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like watch. Look how unrealistic this looks.
Yeah, come on.
Look how bad that looks. We're not going to call that out.
Yeah, we're not going to call it. Yeah, it's in an alternate dimension, though, Lethal, so they get a pass.
Yeah, right. I was talking to Z about this, right? And me and him, I think, kind of agree on this. The reason Kojima takes so long to make games is because they gave him all the resources he wanted.
Yeah.
Now that he's independent, he can't take that long because that eats into his profit, into his money. I mean, I get like PlayStation put a bunch of money into it, but now he has a budget he has to realistically work with, as opposed to having whatever the fuck he wanted.
No, I truly think that. See, here's what happens: you never mix business and pleasure, right? I think what happened, honestly, is that because of the personal kinship that Kojima had with a lot of the high ups at Sony, they were delighted at the fact that he was now independent and they could utilize this genius. So that's why they gave him what was the early remnants of the Decima engine, and he worked with Guerrilla Games to make Decima what it is now, right? And they did all, and Sony took the trademarking responsibility. They funded all that, the trademark and all that other stuff. On it, dude, we're gonna take care of this for you because of personal favor, and there's nothing wrong with that. Except when the person on the other end is known to produce the most expensive games in gaming history, then that could pose a problem for you if you want to fund all his stuff. And now you're at a point now to where he has complete creative freedom to do whatever the hell he wants. You've given him all his resources. You're backing him on a lot of things. He may have his own budget, but nobody knows what the fuck this is that he's producing. He's had free will at it. Now people are starting to get frustrated. And especially in a year like 2019, where Sony needs something like this to really knock it out of the park for them, they're starting to show their frustration to me. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason I say that is because, like, I think normally a game like Death Stranding would take longer, like the 4 or 5 years, like he typically would do. But now he has to get it done in the 3 years because that's all they really paid up front for.
Yeah, he has to. Well, I still got my tinfoil hat on.
You have to get some product out there at least.
I know the chat is like, oh, they're hating. But meanwhile, Gears 5, the propaganda that was the Gears 5, but we're hating. Whatever. We love you guys still.
The water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we love you guys anyway.
But that fall off the cliff was still funny.
Yeah, that fall off the cliff. That was like the old Contra, like a motherfucker from Contra. The old Contra game was sliding down the hill. I don't know. Whatever.
But
that's
yeah,
what I said, the Waluigi run.
Well, with that said, I mean, I think that's just really. I mean, there's Borderlands coming out. Anybody excited about Borderlands?
Kind of looks like
Yeah,
Borderlands
my
2.
friend buys it,
basically.
I get it. Otherwise, I'm not buying
More
that
guns.
shit.
I'm not. It looks fantastic though. I don't want to get into that whole kit and caboodle because that'll be another hour and a half. It looks.
What
It
is
looks.
what is Bungie doing here?
It's just showing their DLC for Destiny.
Oh yeah, let's talk
okay.
about that real quick. So Bungie and Microsoft have been seeming a little cozy. You know, like first we had them at Gamescom premiering the Destiny stuff, even though they have that exclusive, the biggest, the biggest partnership they have right now as far as any of the systems is with Stadia. But they showed their shit on Microsoft stage. Then you had this little gameplay thing with Phil Spencer and stuff. I mean, what could that mean in regards to the relationship of Microsoft and Bungie? You want to take a swipe at it first, Devin? What do you think this could all possibly mean?
I don't know. I keep thinking of November coming up, and they said that a lot of big news are going to happen in November, be announced in November at XO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
What do you
they
think?
haven't really
What
leaked
could be
any
if you-
information on it.
If you were a betting man, what would you put your money on that could possibly be announced there at XO?
I know they showed a lot of Metro at E3, and I'm just taking a shot in the dark, guessing maybe they might have something working with 4A.
Okay. Okay.
Because they showed the DLC on the Xbox One X, and it looked amazing on the main stage, and I'm thinking maybe they might have something working with them.
Top Dog Hayden, he said, hopefully Bungie is not that stupid. Hey, well, Obsidian was that quote unquote stupid. Look, and Obsidian said in the book, they made it very clear in Blood, Sweat, and Pixels that their previous relationship with Microsoft at the beginning of this generation almost decimated their studio, and they had no intention of never being under anybody, particularly Microsoft. And look what happened. So it's a different animal with Bungie. I get it, but you know, you can't take anything off the table. I don't know, Bunny. What do you think could be happening at this event?
This might sound really odd, but doesn't Microsoft own the rights to like Titanfall or something?
No.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
They let EA keep them.
Yeah, they let EA. Yeah, that's when he was. They gave away the goods.
But what if because Bungie is already known for doing a game that's like a game like that, as in with Destiny or something. Mm-hmm. What if they might be working on something secret for Microsoft, and Microsoft's going to announce it then?
I would have loved that, Bunny, but I don't think that's the case. Only because Tencent put a lot of money into Bungie to let them stay independent. So I think at the most you're going to get a marketing deal, whether that be Destiny 3 or the continuation of Destiny 2 DLC or whatever. I think you're going to see them working more closely with Microsoft as opposed to PlayStation. Because I think that PlayStation deal, like, okay, I get it. They did that because they wanted to be away from Microsoft, away from Halo and all that, right? But I don't think that marketing deal was very good for Bungie's end. It was great for PlayStation, but the shit they set up was fucked up. That was fucked up, though, what they did.
I mean, if Tencent put a whole lot of money into Bungie, then I would expect something with Bungie and Nintendo, because
they're doing a lot of mobile stuff.
No, not only that, Tencent and Nintendo are together in China. Tencent won the contract with the government to sell the Nintendo Switch in China.
Yeah.
But, that's the reason they've been going after the ROM sites, the Switch ROM sites in China in preparation for the Switch to be launched there.
Yeah, they're killing those sites.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Microsoft might go for Studio MDHR.
That's like 5 people, but yeah, let's do it.
Oh, the Cuphead.
Like Cuphead, because it was pretty much only on Xbox and PC, so maybe they might have something going
that shit
with them.
went to Tesla cars and the Switch, like fuck. That's so weird. That's on Tesla cars.
And they,
but no, but I was thinking Bungie's gonna start making more mobile games. That's what they said because of the Tencent thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it works out. Oh my god, I don't think they'll ever get bought out.
Microsoft though.
I hope they're working with Microsoft about something, but I don't know. I'm gonna hold my Hope up, but 4A games, you mentioned that, man. That shit hurts because they confirmed they're making a new Metro, so that I know an acquisition isn't happening now. Me and Moss were really holding out hope for that one.
You mean because of the deal with who are they with? THQ?
They're with TH, and then TH already approved a new Metro or whatever.
Yeah. Well, look, man, look.
THQ been doing everything now.
If you sleep, you don't eat, man. I can't even be. I mean, I was so me
Oh
and
my
you,
god,
we were
bro! If they bought 4A games,
I know, bro.
Ah,
I know they should have, and like I've said before, and again, I've never, to be clear for anybody, any of you filthy Xbox, any of my Xbox brethren that is
who the
listening.
fuck's the We Happy Few devs? Who's that?
I know, the Compulsion devs.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That was a waste of money.
This is.
I thought it was a decent game. Come on, man.
Nah, buy 4A.
Yeah.
Yeah. In comparison, yeah.
You would have had a better investment with 4A. And here's the problem. This is why I say I don't. And again, understand I'm using textbook definitions. This is why I say that up until Gears 5 and PC Game Pass was not seen as a value to the average consumer, and I mean the casual consumer, because look, in order for you to access Game Pass before this era right now, you had to buy an Xbox. So when you value something, not when something's just a good deal, when you value something, that means that you have to possess it. There's nothing in this world that you value that you feel like, oh, I don't need that. I don't need to possess it. So if in order to get Game Pass, you need an Xbox and you have to possess an Xbox, you're going to possess an Xbox so you get access to Game Pass if you value it. Now, that all could be changed again with PC Game Pass and Gears. But like Benji Sells alluded to it again today, regardless of what happened, regardless of how much Gears has propelled Game Pass forward, if they don't keep the AAA content up, this is only going to be short-lived. Microsoft's next purchase has to be a AAA caliber studio, period. They got to start work. Okay, all right, we bought y'all, motherfuckers, get to work. You know what I'm saying? Get to work. They got to do this now.
They put Forza Horizon 4 on there, day one.
But I get that. It's not.
It's probably one of the best-selling Microsoft games, or more exclusives.
But how many casuals did that pull it in though? This is what I'm saying. I get me. Everybody on this panel. Everybody on this panel loves what Game Pass has to offer, or at least loves the whole game, the model,
the idea of it.
Yeah, the idea of it. Or
right.
Someone like me, I find value in it because I'm not that confident in the output from Microsoft, but I get it all for $1. So it's a value for me. And I do reviews and play games and shit like that on content, so it's a value to me. The casual consumer that doesn't do all that shit, that has one system, they don't buy like we buy. So, and why do I say that? It's been proven because if it was a value to them, they would say, oh shit, I need access to Game Pass. Let me get an Xbox that I don't have so I can get Game Pass. So they're not saying it. So what has brought the casuals to Game Pass apparently? Because Game Pass Ultimate Edition of Gears is now the #1 game. It's eclipsed Fortnite, for crying out loud. What has done that? A AAA banger. So what we need more AAA bangers to bring the casual money over to help subsidize our Forzas, to help subsidize the games that we like, right? Because we got to understand that the casuals make everything possible with their money, period.
But as far as casuals go, don't they, like, all these multi-plat studios, like, they bring in majority of the money? Like,
yeah, they do, absolutely.
Can Microsoft bring in, like, a AAA multi-plat in the Game Pass? Is that even possible? Or
Aaron Greenberg at E3, he did an interview with Gamertag Radio. He was pressed on that, and he pretty much alluded to that. He was like, the business model, he said, we respect the business model that these third-party developers have, and they don't see value in putting their games with us day and day.
Wasn't there a huge thing with Tomb Raider? Because you remember Tomb Raider was a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
Wasn't that an issue with their developer? Was like, no, you're not putting Tomb Raider on Game Pass day and date.
Um. No, well, really, it's an issue with everybody. No AAA developer is going to put their game in. The money just doesn't. It doesn't make sense for them to put it in Game Pass day and date. What they want to do is they want to test out the life cycle of the AAA game, which is about 3 months, and then after 3 months, they look and they see what the track record is, and if the track record is starting to drop after 3 months, or it normally does with all games, then they say, okay, well, now it's starting to drop, so now we'll put it in Game Pass. Give us some more money. You know what I'm saying? But that first 3 months, they don't want to stifle their potential earnings, so they don't want to put their games on Game Pass, and it makes sense. So it's Microsoft first party content,
that makes sense.
Content that they control that's going to bring in the casuals, and what they have to do, like me and Ethos wanted, they gotta get studios like 4A. They gotta do it because Metro's a beast. Period.
I've been saying that for a while. Yeah, to go for 4A, it seems like it would be a good partnership for Microsoft, bringing a lot of money, definitely.
Mr. Righteous Fish with his crazy ass says, it eclipsed Fortnite on Xbox. Who plays Xbox? But if they continue on this track, they gotta buy a AAA studio if their next purchase. I'm not saying they gotta go buy somebody tomorrow, but if they're gonna make a purchase, it can't be a Compulsion Games. I love Obsidian and I love NXL, but it can't be. It has to be someone whose track record majority of the time is AAA games like a Metro. So, but
who you got any studios in mind?
I have no idea.
Just for the love of God, do not go to like an E3 or an EXO or whatever. Get hyped about purchase, and it's a motherfucking. What was the last purchase they just did?
NXL.
No, it wasn't even that.
No, Tim Schafer's studio.
What the fuck is that studio?
Dead in the Water studio. I don't know who the fuck.
Man, never do that again.
Double Fine.
Yeah, never do that again.
Yeah.
That was some bullshit. That was the one studio they bought.
Yeah.
What, the one who
hyped.
did
I like Ninja
Psychonauts?
Theory though.
Man, it's cool you bought them, but that's the one purchase you made? Oh, hell no.
Wasn't that the studio that did Psychonauts?
I
Double
think so.
Fine?
Yep, that is the studio.
It is Psychonauts, and they'll probably make the new Voodoo Vince for all I fucking know.
Yeah. Top Dog said Metro wasn't a big seller. It wasn't phenomenal.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't phenomenal. It did better on. It did better on. No, I'm lying. You're right, Top Dog.
You don't want to admit it.
Top Dog, you're right. I don't want to admit it, but Top Dog, you're right. We got to edit this part out of the podcast. You're right, Top Dog. But
that just makes it more plausible if it's not a big seller.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. But with that said, anything else? I think we covered everything, man. Anything else anybody want to talk about before we go?
I guess I'm still getting on Twitter. So the people who pulled the receipts on me, I will say this: one video I was just retweeting, the other one, okay, I was on my mooch and crap shit. I can't even deny it. Yeah. But know this: I do not believe in a biased media or biased founder or anything like that. Look, I was just disagreeing with their take on the X thing. It wasn't that great of a value, maybe compared to a Pro or whatever. I just did not agree with that.
You know how the game is played. They pull out an easy meme for the moment. But even to that point, I still don't think that pulling that receipt debunked your point. The point that you was trying to make, Nethos, is that ponies claim media bias too. They may not say the term media bias, but they're claiming it in the definition sense. If you're saying somebody's getting paid off, that is someone in the media showing bias because they got paid off. Media bias
I
is...
literally had someone that said that doesn't count as media bias.
Stupid! This is what... I think you all are high. You're all high. You're all high off your own supply. That is the dumbest fuck. So the one guy was like, and big. I'm not want to sound like I'm better than anybody, but the one guy was like, yeah, he wouldn't call him M2K because he was getting his legs beaten. I said, no. He contacted me and let me know to see this tragic event because what you're saying is stupid. Bias isn't implicit to you just doing a favor for somebody because you like them. It could be because you like them. It could be because you're getting paid. It could be because you're sleeping with them. It doesn't matter. For some reason, you're not judging them on the merits alone. There's a certain reason for favoritism that you're showing them that favoritism, whether it's money, sex, whatever the case may be. So you guys are claiming media bias even though you're not saying the phrase. Period. So. All right, enough with my babbling. Anyway, let's go through
one more thing.
games playing. Oh, I'm sorry, Devin. Did you have something to say, sir? I'm sorry.
Crytek put on another exclusive for Xbox. It's in game preview right now, though. It was on PC first. It's the Hunt Showdown game.
Oh, that. Oh.
But it's a console exclusive though.
What do you
from
think about
Crytek.
it? Have you got a chance to play it yet? I've seen some footage.
I played it. It's a pretty fun game. It's actually kind of scary too.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a scary battle royale type game.
Oh.
It's pretty fun.
Well,
it has some bugs to it, but it's in game preview still though.
Well, Nethos.
My point was that Crytek makes it, and it's a console exclusive for Xbox.
Yeah. I like Crytek, but Nethos doesn't like Crytek. He thinks they're dog shit. Devin, what do you think about that? You think I should ejecto-cedo him out of this channel?
I think that's like another Guerrilla Games, to be real with you. Like, they make some pretty games, and that's about it.
Crysis 2, not so much Crysis 3, but Crysis 2, and did they make Far Cry? No, they didn't make Far Cry, I'm sorry. Crysis 2 is one of the best games last several generations, I'm sorry. At me. Top Dog said another pew-pew game. Nah, Crysis 2 is on a whole nother level, bruh. Crysis 3 is pretty as hell, and it's still fun to play on PC because I think it's more mystique, the fact that it's still visually stunning, even though it's so old. But no, Crysis 2 is a great game. Nethos is just a jackass. He can't help it.
I don't understand that term, the pew-pew thing, like another pew-pew game. But don't you guys get excited for like a new JRPG or something?
Yeah, exactly. So another...
a new Yakuza. I'm seeing that right now on my screen.
Save me! Hey, save me Jocko game. Y'all want another Save Me Jocko game? Oh.
I mean, we want Rise too.
Yeah, there's different... Like, look, man, Sony has its...
Do people actually like Rise, or do they just like the graphics? I don't get it.
Rise was alright. You know what? Rise was a decent
game.
The
game is old now.
Rise was a decent game. But a stellar, but like a Mass Effect game where we like, we're signing petitions for it to be remade. No, I don't.
I can still go back and play Mass Effect. The fucking Rise, that game is dog shit. I'm sorry.
You can call that dog shit, but then you're talking about Andromeda. That game was trash.
Andromeda? I didn't even beat Andromeda.
Yeah, I
exactly.
But I'm saying, like, fucking, I can still go back and play the first Mass Effect. That game's still awesome.
Top Dog said all you do is go around and shoot stuff. What are you doing Uncharted? All you're doing is going around and climbing shit. I mean, if you want to break it down, if you want to simplify it like that, it's more like Crysis 2 is more diverse than that. You power up your character. You know what I'm saying? There's puzzles in the game too. It may not have the tearjerker story. Oh, come and hug me, wife. Let me kiss my kids on the forehead. But again, there's
what game is he referring to?
Yeah,
he's referring to Crysis.
He's referring to any shooter. Any shooter, you just go around and pew pew. He called them pew pew games. Oh, if the game doesn't make you want to kiss your kids in the forehead when you get done playing it, then it's no good. So that's the logic. With that said, okay, let's go through gaming weeks. Devin, what you gonna be playing, bro?
I'm gonna be playing Gears and Rainbow Six. I play Rainbow Six like daily.
Devin knows what's up. Rainbow Six.
I love the game, and that's a whole nother thing I was gonna talk about. Metacritic. Mm-hmm. That game just reached 50 million players, and when it came out, the Metacritic was 73.
Yeah, exactly.
So
meta means nothing.
Fair point. Nothing. You know what I mean?
It means nothing.
Exactly.
But people like to use it for arguing. The same people that are saying, "Oh, y'all crying about meta," are the same people that cried about it with Days Gone. So it's just it is what it is. All right. Bunny, what are you going to be playing?
Let's see here. Next week I have a fishing 17th. And then I'm probably gonna be playing Link's Awakening next week.
Lucky
Oh
mofo
yeah,
you.
that game looks awesome.
You lucky
Yeah, I got
mofo
two.
you.
I got 2 games coming out next week, and then 1 game coming out, and then 2 games coming out the week after that. I'm looking at getting.
The Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I'm getting Dragon Quest 11. I'm getting AI. And that's the week after, and then next week is the Real Fishing World adventure game, and I'm getting Link's Awakening.
Y'all messing with my emotions in the chat. Talking about Crisis was just a tech demo. Crisis allowed you to upgrade your weapons in a way that you did not see in a first person shooter. Okay, it was a sci-fi shooter. I get you don't get the tearjerker stories in a sci-fi shooter. I get it, but in the fact that it was linear, most of the games, most of the shooters that y'all loved to play back in that era were linear too. Actually, Crisis was a little bit more open as far as the space you can roam than most of your shooters back then. So try again. All right, okay, cool. Nethals, what's your pizza making ass getting into?
Well,
We could
actually,
talk
I'm going
about
to be heading
Killzone.
out of town
You-
for a few days, but when I do get back, I'm going to continue the greatness that is Gears 5. Mighty Moss, I don't know if you're going to be ready to play the campaign or not, but oh yeah, we need to get going on that.
I'm
I've been trying to get him. I've been trying to get him to play it.
Hey, bro. Hey, you talk about a Ubisoft game, you want to play Ghost Recon? He's there.
Yeah,
you talk
bro.
about Gears? Man, I don't know where the fuck he goes. Oh, I got to
yeah.
pick up this dude. Oh, shit.
I left my son yesterday messing around with these cats. I want
You
y'all to
paid
know my son's
son.
mad as hell at me, bro. He mad as hell. He hates all you motherfuckers, man. He's mad. He don't even know y'all. I left these stranded, bro. I'm a horrible father.
Hell, father.
Now, Moss, what are you going to be playing? That's the question.
Woo! I'm gonna
Have
play-
you even gotten to Onanaki yet?
Bunny, why you keep exposing me like this?
That
I was
came
gonna-
out?
Hey, look, I was going to play. That was the game I was going to play. No, I was going to play it this morning, and then I said, "No, the hell with it. Let me get into some Gears." And then my bro Nethals was getting attacked, so I had to stop my Gears stream. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do. Now I'm gonna play Onanaki. See, when I play RPGs, I gotta know I have several hours because I lose time in the RPGs. So I'm gonna play some Onanaki. I'm gonna play some Gears. I want to play Rage 2. I'm gonna finish up Rage 2.
That game looked fun.
Yeah,
That game needs to hit Game Pass.
it does.
Right.
It does. But Bethesda
Yeah,
just needs to give up
usually-
on it, even though give up on them making any more money from. And it's a shame too. Rage 2 is a phenomenal game. It's just
Like, I'm not gonna lie, that game looks like it's gonna be like the next PlayStation Plus game at this point. Like, it fell. It didn't.
unfortunately.
Like, look at Darksiders 3 or whatever.
Yeah, and it should
Already on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, already PlayStation Plus game.
Yep, that's crazy.
It's kinda sad.
What else? And I'm
Did
gonna
you
play the
guys-
Division too, but I'm gonna tell y'all this
Yeah.
much. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That's gonna be the new Ubisoft game, and it's gonna kill the Division. I got a video coming on that tomorrow.
Well, the
So-
Division 2 is just. I got it
I haven't even
early
reached
and
30 yet.
just not even.
I haven't even.
It
reached
feels
30
the same, man. Just a little prettier.
You know what I'm excited about Ubisoft games? I'm glad they make Ubisoft Plus on the PC so I can just play it on the PC without feeling bad. But I don't feel like I'm wasting money on it.
Hey, look, you
let's
won't
play
trust
Rainbow.
me. You should. The Ghost Recon Breakpoint breaks that mold. It looks the same on the surface, but once you start playing it, you're like, holy shit. Yeah, it's different. And Division
But
2 is
look-
gonna officially be dead once that comes out.
Well, my problem is with like you buying Ubisoft
Thought it was
games.
dead
whatever on
already.
PC. You're just buying PC games. Nobody boots up on PC. You're by yourself.
Well, with the combo of Stadia and Uplay Plus in 4 short months, you'll be able to play Uplay Plus everywhere.
In
I don't know if
four
that's
sh-
just
did
worth
you-
15 bucks
Did
though.
did you say 4 short months?
4 short months. You like how I said that? 4 short. I'm on
It's not even 4. It's not even 4 months. It's barely because Stadia gets announced in November. It comes out in November.
Here's the problem.
How many people still have their pre-order for that shit? I
I
canceled
got
mine.
mine. I got mine.
Hold on to that
because
shit to the
for
bitter end.
I mean, I'm paying for the joystick and I'm paying for the what's it called? Everything else is free. I get Destiny for free and with all of its upgrades for free on another platform. and I get something to play my Uplay Plus on. So, and take it everywhere. The problem is that, and this is Stadia's fault, that Stadia overhyped this too soon. That you are not going to have the capabilities to play on any type of phone till next year. The only phone that you can play on this year is the Pixel.
Yeah, I feel like Stadia doesn't really launch until next year. Honestly,
that's a very good point. It doesn't launch until next year, and they're hyping it so much now, and I kind of understand it, but then I don't.
But then they're
confused on how it works.
I'm just trying to figure out how Just Dance going to work on it. But what I'm saying is, so basically what they're doing is, do you think that because they're releasing it in November and it's not going to be fully functional next year, with November being as packed as November is, do you think they're setting themselves up for failure?
I don't think they're gonna fail, but they're not gonna like break the bank. There's what we gotta understand is that at launch, this service is not going to be for us. They're not gonna tell us that. They're not gonna say, we don't want your money. I mean, they're gonna want everybody's money that's gonna buy. But these are for like my kids that play everywhere. I want to start a game somewhere, and then okay, we gotta go to the park. All right, and then they transfer the game immediately to their phone. This is for them. I want to do that shit. So because the kids out here today want to do that shit, this is going to slowly but surely gain steam with them. But the stability of the platform is going to depend on if they start getting multi-plat. I mean, if they start getting exclusives. I'm sorry. If they start getting exclusives,
and then the Switch laughing,
then they're gonna have a good chance of surviving. So
Switch laughing at them.
What'd you say?
I said the Switch is laughing at that.
Oh, the Switch. I don't know, man. I mean, like for
you can take your console on the go, man. You don't have to worry about connection issues, frame rates.
Well, the online port. I mean,
online.
Yeah, when you think about it, like a lot of these sub AA games that are on the phones. A lot of kids are playing, they're playing the games like that on their phones now. They love testing it out. And the fact that you can take a AAA game from your console, you know what I'm saying? A AAA game like an Assassin's Creed at that, Borderlands at that. Don't get me, I know there's ports, but you could take that same exact game and from the from the very high fidelity stage, and then port it to your phone. The kids are going to like that. Not love it at first, but they're going to like that. So
it's going to be awesome, man.
We will soon see. But with that said, okay, I think that's it. So thank you, Devin, for coming on, for being a guest this week. We will talk this week too. You know what I'm saying? Get your feet wet and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for coming, Devin.
Yep.
Oh yeah, anytime. And
Nethals, thank you for showing up. At the nick of time. I don't know what.
All thing I'm going to say to Nethals is that buttered chicken looked really good.
Right?
Oh, that shit was glorious.
I want to thank Noah for showing up for the 5 minutes to bitch and complain. And then thank you for Dirk Griggity for letting me host the show and running into the ground today on my channel. So with that said, I want to
Well, there's a key word there. It's your channel.
Yeah, exactly. With that said, I want to thank everybody for coming by today. I appreciate it. Top Dog says, yeah, but parents aren't going to like the internet bill. Hey, I got friends that are paying hundreds of dollars a month because their kids they have multiple kids and they're buying V-Bucks for these kids on Fortnite. So they're already getting beat in the head with a cash register. You'd be the darndest thing that parents will do. So that's why I say, I'm not saying it's a good thing for parents, but you'll be surprised at the darndest things that they'll do for their kids. So with that said, thank you everybody for coming today, for checking out the show. Check us out on the PNTSnetwork.com, where you can catch up on all our content, Scram Punks, The Prognosis, FC Violent, and Company with Vitamin G Podcast. And we got some more goodies coming on. So check us out there. And that's it. So to everybody joining us, appreciate y'all. As always, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.